So I'm Ian, I'm coming from AstraZeneca, Malaysia. So it's my sweetest nightmare to actually present after Dr. Hilmi because I have to improvise almost immediately. If not, the script will be like 70-80% the same. So I'm going to think of how I'm going to present this. But anyway, thanks for the organizing committee for giving us this opportunity to show that, I'm coming from a profitable organization, and we also put aside, business and look into how do we help patients with our initiative. Because science should always come first before business, right? So I'm going to present about AI-assisted chest X-ray. So this is what we consider as an alternative approach to how we are doing lung cancer screening today to complement low-dose CT scan. So if I can go to the next slide. So the journey all started when AstraZeneca actually built Lung Ambition Alliance. So it's a global initiative that has almost 50 countries participating in it. We gather a group of like-minded collaborators. So they are from cross disciplines. Some of them are physicians, some of them are researchers. What we are focusing on are basically three things. So one is screening. Second one is diagnosis of lung cancer. The third one is actually to improve survival of a lung cancer patient. So if I can move to the next slide. You can see that Malaysia is being featured here at the right bottom corner. So these are the 50 countries that is participating in it, and we are actually hitting a lot of initiative on how to improve lung cancer management. Screening is just being one part of it. Can I go to the next one? So you will be seeing this like 20 times, if you are in the lung cancer symposium. But I just want to focus on something that perhaps Dr. Hilmi didn't cover. I'm just complimenting on top of what his great presentation were, is that most of the detection of lung cancer happens very late, and it is because of I would think, because we have been in with Lung Cancer Network Malaysia on this journey together, we found out that even if we tell the patient or the healthy individual that you might have some symptom on your lung, there's this taboo on lung cancer. I do not know why. They are afraid of getting themselves scanned and screened, and that is why most of them are actually detected in the advanced or metastatic setting. So if I were to give you an idea what is the difference between if you find out early and late, right? So if a patient is detected in stage 2 and before, maybe some of them in stage 3, surgery is the definitive treatment. And when we talk about surgery, it is the current modality that we have that is closest to cure. Because if I can take out the whole tumor cleanly without leaving any margin behind, potentially what we are looking at is the patient can be free of cancer. But if you are in stage 4 and beyond, where the cancer is already spreading everywhere else in your body, what we can do is basically systemic treatment, but with palliative intent. We are trying to keep you alive as long as possible, but we will know that the time will eventually come. That's why if I were to move to the next slide, you will see that 5-year survival rate, this is not a problem of Malaysia only, lung cancer across the globe. You can see that if you look into even the timeline which is closer to us, 5-year survival rate is still 10%. So 1 out of 10 lung cancer patients survive beyond 5 years. And this is a problem that is being shared by all the countries. And if I were to move to the next slide, that's why AstraZeneca is coming in. So late detection, we have always been talking about it for 10, 20 years, 2-3 decades, right? But what we are trying to do is, right now we identify that if we can move with what we call a stage shift, is that if we can detect this patient from the current, which is on your left furthest, of 90% in advanced stage into, let's say, 30% in the early stage where surgery is possible, and with all the science that is currently surrounding the surgical method with systemic therapy, we can sort of like improve patient survival into so much better than what we are looking at today. And AstraZeneca is doing that by introducing AI X-ray. If I move to the next one. So the current problem with LDCT, like Dr. Hilmi said, is always this thing that, first of all, it is not accessible in most of the primary clinics. It is only available in hospital. The second thing is about when you compare it to a blood test and maybe an X-ray, it is not so convenient. And in fact, some people are actually scared of the machine because it is quite an extensive process if you compare it to a simple blood draw. So that is a problem, and even if you found out that something is abnormal, they might not have the courage, and in fact some of the male perhaps they're scared of finding it out because they will have to be forced to stop smoking, and that's the problem. And when we are considering all that, right, and then hence if we move to the next one, what we are trying to do is we introduce this AI X-ray where the AI read through all the chest radiograph. So if let's say a patient goes to a GP clinic, if this AI is available, what it does is that, we do nothing more than an X-ray. But when the X-ray is produced, the AI algorithm actually looks into the whole X-ray and try to pick up, the abnormalities. Let's say if you have any abnormal nodule for lung cancer, and this thing can expand to all other things. And just for a disclaimer, AstraZeneca doesn't own this. This is a collaborator with us. We have to pay them for their service. So if we move to the next one. So the journey started in 2021 where we signed a memorandum with MOH and also Lung Cancer Network Malaysia, and also with one GP clinic chain, which is Qualitas. What we do is that we introduce AI technology into 10 of their GP clinics. And then we actually managed to found a lot of patients with IPNs. But unfortunately, like what Dr. Yumi shared, right? Even if we tell the patient that you have something abnormal, please get yourself checked out in the tertiary hospital, most 99% of them doesn't go. So it's not a rainbow story like the cervical cancer where 90% get follow-up. In lung cancer, it's 90%, nothing is done. Everyone just go back to their own life and we do not know what happened. And that is the thing that we are trying to solve. That's why in phase 2, right, we actually managed to convince Dr. Yumi is part of them, is that we have a multidisciplinary doctors looking at this technology, and they found that this is really helpful. That's why we come up with the consensus paper to actually say that it should be incorporated into lung cancer screening routinely, if let's say it's possible. So we have that published in Malaysian Journal of Medicine, like just what Dr. Humi shared just now. That's phase 2, and today I'm going to share with you what phase 3 means, right? If you go to the next one, this is what happens in the clinic I just described. We can skip to the next slide. So we have something what we call Project SAPU, which is Saringan Awal Paru-Paru, right? We try to expand this to IKN, Institute Cancer Negara. So what we are doing is we install the same technology in IKN, and because IKN is all places where cancer actually flood to, we actually have more patient load and everything compared to what we are doing at GP. And because the main hurdle is to get person being followed up. If we corner them in IKN, we can basically just rope them and throw them into the LDCT room without letting them leave the hospital. So that's the whole idea of it. But benefits that are there. If we do it in MOH, higher number of patients, and then most of all, they don't have enough manpower to read the chest radiograph. And with AI, you actually don't have to do it because AI reads it in like 0.1 millisecond or something like that. So that's all helpful with the MOH, and of course, if we can identify lung cancer patient earlier, it will be a lot better. If I move to the next one. So this is what we are suggesting, we basically introduce this to public primary clinics as well. And when you have this abnormality being picked up, then we send you straight away to the tertiary hospital. And in IKN itself, actually, we have the algorithm ready as well. So we are doing it on a multi-pronged approach. And if, let's say, we found other lung abnormalities like TB, we will also channel them to maybe Hospital Putrajaya or something, another hospitals. And that is where our effort in terms of closing the gap. And the last thing about my presentation, if I move to the next one, is that we just want to say that, this AI X-ray technology is already available in IKN. We have already running studies on it. And if you have anyone that perhaps wanted to go on this amazing technology, you can just ask them to do it in IKN or some other hospital that you can come to me and ask for it. Yep, and that's it. Thank you.